Morning everyone. Yeah, very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Today's topic is the same, that is the employability and the professional development. And in the last class, we have started with the career development, career management, self-reliance, effective learning skills. That is given by the Hawkers and the Winters in 1997. So what are the various management skills? What are the various self-reliance skills? What are the various effective learning skills? Yeah, that we have discussed in the last class as the starting point. Today I'm going to continue with same one, and the best example for today is hook negotiation. In the last class we have finished with the self-awareness, that is able clearly to identify the skills, values, interests and other personal attributes, then able to pinpoint the core strength and the differentiating factors, then equipped with the evidence of the abilities that includes some summary statement that includes records of the portfolio, then actively willing to seek the feedback from others and able to give the constructive feedback. That is also one of the point of the feedback forms that is given, and able to identify the area for personal, academic and professional development. So what are the areas for the personal, what are the areas for the academic and the personal development? Then self-promotion. Self-promotion includes able to define and promote own agendas, own ideas. What are the various ideas? What are the various promotions that will be concluded, that will be given for the self-promotion? Then can identify the customer needs, academic community, employer, and can also promote the own strength in a convincing way. That is both written, oral, and also selling out the benefits to the customer, not simply the features. That is also self-promotion. Then exploring and creating the opportunities. So able to identify, create, investigate, and seize the opportunities. How to identify, or it is able to identify, create, investigate, and seize the opportunities. Then has the research skills to identify the possible sources of information, help and support. The next is action planning. This action planning includes able to plan a course of action which addresses where am I now, where do I want to be, how do I get there, where I'm standing right now, where I want to be in future, where I want to go, and how we can achieve them. Next is exploring and creating the opportunities. So it is able to identify, create, investigate, and seize the opportunity. What are the various investigation? What are the various skills? How to create them? How to investigate? And how to seize the opportunities. Then has create or has the research skills to identify the possible sources of information. What are the various possible sources of information that we gather together? Help and support. So what are the various possible sources of information, how we can add them, and what are the various help and the support that is able to identify the possible sources of information. The next is action planning. So what are the various steps that is able to plan a course of the action which addresses where am I now, where do I want to be, how do I get there. That is where I am right now standing, where I want to be in future, and how do I get there. Then able to implement an action plan by organizing time effectively, how to organize the time effectively, how to identify the needs or steps needed to reach the goal. Then preparing the contingency plans. Contingency plans includes what are the various plans that is included. If there is any mishappening happens, that is a contingency happens, so we are able to implement them by organizing the time effectively, by organizing or what are the various steps that is used to reach the goals. Then able to monitor and evaluate the progress against specific objectives. How to monitor and how to evaluate the progress, what are the various progress reports that is concluded out against the specific objectives. The next is networking, that is aware of the needs to develop the network of the contacts. What are the various network of the contacts, how we can aware them, and how to develop the various contacts. Then able to define, develop, and maintain a support network for the advice and information. So gain a network, able to define a network, then develops a network, and also maintains A support network for the advice and information. Then has a good telephone skills. So this is also one of the things that there is a networking. So there is a good network or telephone skills so that we can communicate with each other with a good communication skills. Then matching and decision making. So understand the personal priorities and constraints that may be internal, that may be external, including the need for a sustainable balance of work and home life. So what are the various sustainable balance of work? What are the various home life? What are the various internal and the external priorities of the constraints? The need or able to match opportunities to core skills, knowledge, values, interest, and so on. So able to match what are the various opportunities, how to, yeah, these opportunities, how to make these opportunities with the skills, knowledge, values, interest, etc. Then able to make an informed decision based on the available opportunities. What are the various decision making steps? What are the various informed steps that is used with the available opportunities that is used with the informed decisions? Then negotiation. This is able to negotiate. So one is a matching under decision making, how to match and how to take the decision. That depends on the priorities, that depends on the constraints. The next is a negotiation. So able to negotiate the psychological contract from a position of powerlessness. How to make the psychological contract. What are the various contracts that is made out? What is their position of powerlessness? Then able to reach win-win agreement. This is one of the main thing. Win-win agreement means both sides have win. For example, let's take example. If I'm running my institute, this is the institute, and I'm taking a charging of the 50,000 for this Oracle course. Listen, 50,000 for Oracle course. But you told me as a student that you will be only able to pay only 25,000. I said 50,000, you said 25,000. So there's a negotiation, or there must be a negotiation among you and me. So I said, no, 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 25 is too less. Then I said, 40 is okay. You said, no, sir, I'm not able to give, please try my conditions, 30 is best. You said 30, I said 40. Again, there is no relationship among we. At last, we reach that, not from your end, not from my end. We able to stop at the 35. So both parties will win. You also win because you are paying the less amount. I'm also win because if 35 I'm paying, and if there are three students, then I'm able to catch up that 50,000 constraint for single student. That is a win-win conditions, win-win agreement. That means you are also satisfied from your end. I'm also satisfied with my end. That is a win-win argument. The next is the political awareness. So understand the hidden tensions and power struggles within organizations. So what are the various political awareness? What are the various hidden tensions? What are the various power struggles? That is also combined, or that is also occupied with the power struggles within that organization. Then aware of the location of power and influence within organization. How and when there will be a political awareness, and how we can judge, how we can influence, how we can give the power within that organization. The next is coping with uncertainty. We can copy out, but with the uncertainty, that means we are not carrying out the goals. What is the goal and how we can achieve them? So able to communicate or able to adapt the goals in the light of the changing circumstances. Then able to take the merits of tiny risk. What are the various merits of tiny risk that will be given, or that will be coping with the uncertainties? The next is a development focus. So committed to the lifelong learning. Lifelong learning means very much excited learning. Then understands preferred method and style of learning. Then reflect on learning from experiences, either good or bad. So reflect on what is the learning process from the experiences, that is either good or the bad experience. Then able to learn from the mistake of the other. This is one of the main things. So able to learn from the mistake of others, that he is getting the mistake with this one, and I'm learning that how we can rectify them or how we can achieve the target. Then able to apply the skills to the new context. And in some respects, example, the references to the customer needs rather than just employer needs, and to creating as well as exploring the opportunities. What are the various aspects that will be given with the transfer skill, that will be given or that will be applied the skills to the new context. Then the Hawkins and the Winter list potentially incorporates the options related to the self-employment as well as the employment. And this will be given with the explicit and extended a great deal further also, and for whatever the program that is given in the education for the internship, and the enterprise are also limited and to be found in less than a third of the higher education institutions where they exist. They are often timetabled separately from the career development learning, but the two areas are closely related with each other and can also benefit from being combined. Next is relevance to employability. Relevance to employability includes, that is not the employability, but that is related with the employability. That may be a transferable skills, that may be a career management skills that have some degree of the overlap, but they are essentially different in the focus. Now, according to the Watts and Newton, whenever we said about the personal transferable skills and the career management skills that have some degree of the overlap, but they are essentially different in focus. How they are different? The focus of the career management skills is upon competences in making and implementing the decision that determines the one's career. One's career includes what are the various capabilities that will be included in the career skills that will be included or make the competences in making and implementing the competences or implementing the decision that determines the one's career. And the focus of the transferable skills that is on competence within the positions that one enters as a result of these decisions and the transition. Whatever the decisions, whatever the transitions we are moving on, that will be as a result of these decisions and the transitions. And that has been subsequently been suggested that the career management skills that has been included that can be viewed in two ways. One is as a subset of the employability skills, then as a related set of the meta skills that enables individual to develop and use the full range of other skills also. And the case for the later view is also strong. Meta skills are related to the Butcher and the Harvey definitions of the meta ability as an underlying learned ability that plays an important role in allowing a wide range of the knowledge and skills to be used effectively. And they are also defined as a subsumming elements of learning, how to learn, reflection of and for practice, and a capacity for the self-regulation that will seems to fit. So career development learning also seems to fit well in these definitions, focusing as it does on the self-management of the progression in learning and also work based on the reflection on the past achievement and what can be learned from and built upon these achievements. How do we can learn or how we can achieve the targets, how we can build upon these targets, how this is achieved upon the learned things. Then career management is also relevant to what bridges terms, transferable skills, meta skills that also enables one to select, adapt, adjust, and applies one's other skills to different conditions, situations across the social context, and also perhaps similarly across the different contingency or cognitive domains. And the transfer of the skills also appears clearly to be enhanced by the use of the varied learning context that makes it possible to practice the skills in the different settings or at least to their relevance to those settings. That is also part of this one. That is also a part of the also a part of the rationale for the inclusion of the work experience within the higher education, how to include the experience with the work education. Beyond this, however, transfer would also be enhanced by the interventions that concern with the how to help out with the future aspects of the career education directions, particularly if attention is paid to the relevance of the skills to those directions. And at the very least, work of this kind would seem likely to increase the students' motivation for work on the employability by enabling them to see its relevance and the benefits it may offer. Whatever the benefit that they offer. Yeah, that includes the interventions, but not mandatory that you should use the interventions if attention is paid to the relevance. No, that is not the case. But sometime you adapt, sometime you adjust, and sometime you apply the other conditions also. So just read out what we have studied in the chapter number 4. Next is chapter number 5, how to implement that career development learning within the higher education. So just this, take out this. Career development learning within the higher education. So first is delivery strategies. So if the topic, yeah, if I'm talking about the topic, that is how to implement the career development learning. Implement career development learning means how we can develop the career, what are the various education that is built up with the career management learning, and how we can build, how we can implement within the higher education. So in broad terms, 3 delivery strategies for promoting the career development learning that can be distinguished or that can be differentiated. First is through specific modules. Second, through more general cross-curricular integration than outside the curriculum. So these are the 3 modules, these are the 3 strategies that will be followed up for promoting the career development learning that can be differentiated with the cross-general, that will be differentiated from the cross curriculum integration that will be different from the specific module that is outside the curriculum. So there are 3 forms of this modular approach that can be applied. One is the generic, one is the customized. But if I'm talking about the generic, so where the same module is designed to be available to students in any department or course. So where should we or where should we get? Then customize, where a generic template is adapted to a needs or to the needs of a particular department or courses. Then bespoke or bespoke, where the modules are developed for the specific purpose within the particular organization, within the particular department, within the particular courses. There are 3 approaches: generic, customized, and bespoke. And a general strategy that needs more limited development time that can be rooted directly in established notions of what career development learning comprises. This career development or this customized strategy leads to more active department or active involvement of the academic staff of the bespoke strategy that will be carried out with the ownership to by the academic staff. And modules on the career development learning were established or well established in the USA in 1970s that has been continued to develop their passions there later in the UK, but were given a significant boost in the late 1980s and 1990s by the enterprise in the higher education and by the subsequent government funded program on the career management skill that will be focused especially on the career management skills. And in a survey by peers, around 1/3 of the institutions reported that the career management skills modules were available to the students. In most of the cases, the take-up was tiny compared to the total students population. And in one of the institutions, however, 25% of the students took advantage of such modules, and in another it was compulsory for all the students. That depends on the university, how it is reading out, how it will be take the advantages. And the career modules typically range from 5 credits, half modules, to 20 credits, through some are the largest, and the number extended to 30 or even 60 credit, by which or at which stage they effectively became a degree course pathway. And they are often located in the second year of the degree program, though the first and the final years are also used. And in some cases, the credit count towards the 360 count that also comprises the first degree and so are taken into account in the degree classification. In others, they are also viewed as optional extra which are credit rating and also academically assessed that appears on the student degree transcript but do not count towards the 360 credit and degree classification that have been given with the separate awards or the skill clarifications as well as for the extra provision. In addition to or in place of such modules, career development elements can be integrated within the programs by linking them to the existing course components so that the career development learning is caught rather than the taught. This may be done on an opportunist basis, on a systematic basis, for example, as a part of the module template, providing greater transparency for the skills that is embedded within each module, within each academic staff that is likely to be even stronger. And finally, the career development learning can be promoted through extracurricular activities that includes ICT-based learning, ICT-based activity, non-credit bearing special events. Non-credit bearing means, for example, that includes the current affairs, that includes the one session, that includes on a particular career development skills, that includes a short residential courses, that includes the self-management parts, undergraduate program that is to be included in the career management skills learning outcome. And the vast variety do this with the 5 credit module